Good morning, everybody. It's Barry Kleiman. Today, I'm going to discuss and give my spin on LinkedIn's fourth most asked interview question, which is, why do you want to work here? Um, by, by the time you get to the end of these, or maybe I would have already convinced you, or maybe you would have already swiped me off, the answer really is simple. It's just be honest. And starting a dialogue with honesty. Remember, the best interviews are conversations, not interrogations. And if you can turn the question into a conversation, you're just going to be that much more credible. And of course, credibility is everything. And again, so the idea is to make this a conversational question, not to dodge it, but to make it a conversation. So, how do you do that with this question? Um, Start with the truth. You should have done your homework, right, on the company. If you didn't, shame on you. You should do that. Everybody knows that. Um, if you're smart, you'll check out the person who is interviewing you that day on LinkedIn and get to know a little bit about that person as well. We'll get into the questions that I think people should ask coming back the other way in an interview, but that's in another thread. So the answer really is you're not really sure you want to work at this company yet, but you are sure that you're interested in exploring the opportunities at this company. Um, there are companies on the surface of things, I'm not going to mention any names whatsoever. There are highly regarded companies in their space, and companies you've heard of for sure in all segments of the job market. Everything from manufacturing, automotive, to software, to computer manufacturing, and SaaS companies. The list goes on. Um, some of the most highly regarded companies are really difficult places to work. It's not that they're bad or necessarily good, but they may not be for you. And so the truth of the answer is you're not really sure you do want to work at that company, and you're there to explore whether or not you do. That's the big picture. You are there first to provide compelling background on yourself. Remember the earlier questions. What are your greatest strengths? What are your greatest weaknesses? Tell me about yourself. You've already answered, in theory, those questions, or will along the way. And now you're trying to figure out and keep presenting you in the best light possible, but also keep the integrity going. And I would just simply say that the truth is that you don't know that you want to work there. You've read great things about the company. You love the space they're in. The commute is really good for you. Um, the list goes on and on and on, right? And each of us has a little individual, reason. And you want to make that clear as you can while still saying, look, on the surface, I'd love to work here. You guys are an industry leader. Your profits were up. Your cutting edge technology. Your whatever it is. Remember that you have to understand your own motivations. I'll put up the graphic again. What do you want to happen? Why do you want it to happen? What's the next step you're going to take to make it happen, and when will you take the step? So you could frame that those four questions in an interview. You can simply say, I'm really interested in getting into this space. That's what I want to happen. Or I'm really, really interested in working for a good company that's a good commute to my house because I'm a working mom, working dad, if that's your reality. Framing your answer with a reason why behind it. What do you want to happen? Why do you want it to happen? Will give you the opportunity to take a question and turn it into a conversation. This is your goal. Can't stress it enough. So, what I would say to you is to do all of the requisite homework, everything you know about the company. And again, hopefully, the person or the people you're interviewing with, if at all possible, you should know that ahead of time. And then frame your answers with the template in mind. The what do you want to happen? Commute may not matter to me. It might matter to you. Industry may not matter to you, but it matters to me. But I'm interested in getting this certain sort of experience. I met a gentleman just yesterday who was a facilities director. And I said to him, what does a facilities director do? Because he was at a biotech company. I said, could you be a facilities director at a hardware manufacturer outside of biotech? He said, well, my degree is in biomedical engineering. I said, okay, so you're much more suited for that. And those are where your interests lie. So we all have different reasons. Some people just might like the management space, and whether it's at enterprise rent-a-car or Target stores or some tech company, they're just into management. So the company may be of less of a draw than the actual job. These are things you want to be able to articulate. So keep that template in mind and then go and be honest and simply say, I'm here to explore all the possibilities and learn as much as I can. Again, on the surface, this seems to be a great company, and I'd love to tell you about myself and then find out a little bit from you about what it's like to work here. That's a fair answer. Answer their questions first, but also let them know at some point you value your time and your being and um, uh, your place on the planet enough to say you're not wholesale. You're not there to just take any job, that you're there to find a job that makes sense for you and what you want to happen. So I hope that makes sense. As always, feel free to leave questions in the comments. Um, let the truth guide you. It will never let you down. Again, please feel free to ask me questions. This is Barry Kleiman answering number 4 of LinkedIn's 26 most asked interview questions. Think about it. Think about that particular positioning. I think over time it will make sense to you. I know it's a little different than the traditional dogma, but the truth can't harm you. Stay safe, everybody.